Right, this cam chain rubber wheel is pretty knackered. It's a bit chewed up on the edge. It's supposed to be more of a ridge in the middle there. So I've got a new one of those. They're quite easy to change out. That just pulls out. You just have to get this little lip piece there over. That then comes out of there. Yeah, so this is the new one. As you can see, that down the middle there, much wider and deeper. This is actually a pattern one. It's from David Silver Spares. That's the part number there. Yeah, so I think just a spot of oil. It's not going in just yet, but just get a spot of oil in there. Just have it ready to go then, really. And that then, this will only go in one way. This inner piece has a little lip there which has to go into that little notch in there, like that. And then this piece just goes down the middle. So that's ready to go in now. Here we are, back in the shed. Got the cylinders back, the barrels back from the reborers, and yeah, nice little job in there. Nicely honed. Yeah, come out really nice. Though did have to go 2 sizes over. These were standard. He's had to go up to 0.05, sorry, 0.5, because they were so, one side, the left hand side was so deeply scored. But yeah, that's sorted all that out. So what's left for me to do now, I've just got to check the ring gaps, get the pistons on, get the barrel on. Also need to replace these O-rings in here, which I believe is what these are in the gasket set. So I'll do those, and yeah, and then check the ring gaps. Right, so first problem, or may not be a problem. This is one of the original O-rings taken off. This is one of the new ones. I don't know whether it's obvious to you, but it is to me. That one, the new one, is a lot thicker than the old ones, or the old one that came out. Apparently these should be 2mm diameter, and I've measured this with calipers. It comes out as 2.4, so it's going to be roughly right. But I've had a quick look on the forums. Some people say you might have a problem with it, actually, with these thicker ones, and the actual gasket goes on here, get that to seal properly. Other people say they have no problem, so what do you do? Yeah, I could get some OEM ones. Yeah, another couple of days waiting for those, or I could try these and see how we get on. People say if you torque them down, they'll be fine. Once you torque the heads down, they'll be fine. So I think I'm just going to give it a go, see what happens. If not, I'll be stripping the engine down again. Pistons both fitted. What I've got to do now is just clean round the gasket surface here and on the cylinders. I'll put some gasket cement on there and on there. Fit the, I think I'll put the gasket on here. I think it's going to be easier and less likely to get damaged than actually putting it on here. And I've also got to put the these little bits here, these little rubber bungy bits which hold this pivot in place. Get those in, and then yeah, just got to feed this down, get a bit of oil in here, a bit of oil on the pistons, and yeah, I'll be able to start getting somewhere then. Well, that was bloody nerve-wracking. They're quite awkward to do, because you have to kind of keep an eye on several things at once, not just putting the piston rings in. Make sure that this bit goes in. There's also the two rubber blocks which are on the other end of this bracket piece here. Make sure they don't flip out, which at one point they did, so I had to put them back in. Yeah, quite fiddly, but it's there anyway. Straight on with the head gasket. And the head can go on. I think I did see something about you should oil these. I'll check on that and yeah, go from there. Right, hopefully there's not too much backlight this time of day. Do get the sun kind of coming in this direction, which yeah, can be a bit annoying when you're trying to video. Right, yeah, so I just want to get rid of this excess oil to these pistons. So that's going to be pretty smoky. I'll start it up. Right. Don't forget the dowels. Which way does this go on? That way, I think. Yeah, I did. I don't know where I got that bit about oiling the oiling this up from. Must have seen it on someone's YouTube channel or read it somewhere, but there's nothing in the manual about it, so yeah, don't think I'm going to worry too much. I suppose the only thing is it would just yeah, help with the removal next time, I guess. British bikes I would tend to just put a little bit of grease on some of the gaskets. But, that's a bit tight. If it might be easier to push this from the top. Yeah. I expect the die was getting a bit flat, a bit blunt when I got to that one. Right, yeah, not particularly good fitting gasket. In fact, I might actually take a bit out of there, because that is, yeah, trouble with some of these gaskets, that bowed, that needs a little bit cutting out one of these. Right, let's do that. Right, it's better sitting flat now. Just had to take a little bit off the inside of each of those. Deburring tool. Not really what it's meant for, but did the job. Back in the stand. Battery might be getting a bit low. Let's see how far we get. Right, so what do we want? Head. Right. Getting somewhere now. So next thing will be rocker box. So it's the same old thing. Sealant, possibly. Not sure if I need it or not. I'll have a look in the manual, and then we can get the rocker box on. And then we've got the camshaft to play around with. Yeah, and the other thing is, there's a bolt here, each side needs to go in. This on the left is at top dead centre, and we're on LT near enough. Yeah, so we're ready to set up the cam. Right, a couple of things to note. First of all, again, don't forget your dowels. So I'll put some gasket sealer on the other side of this gasket. So that's on there, and I've also put the sprocket in place. I'm still on LT near enough. It's a little bit out, but when that's straight, this is straight. So this has also got the L mark at the top. So that's should be in the right place, but if not, I can jiggle around once the rocker box is on. Right, so got some more gasket seal on there. Let's get this right way round, that way round. Let's see where the dowels go. You can see the machine, and then there, a little ridge. So that must be the right way round. Yep. Get my bit of wire through if I can. Make everything going everywhere. Like that. So much easier if you had something to give you a hand with this, I think. There's kind of a lot of things that need to be done all at the same time. Right. That's that on. And there are 6 crosshead screws to go in somewhere. There they aren't. There are 4 screws to go in, and they're not the ones. Yeah, yeah, Camshaft bolts. I'll have to find somewhere higher to mount the camera in a minute. Don't know if there's a torque setting for these. Just tight, I guess. that's that bit on. Now we need to slide the camshaft in, which can be a little bit tricky. So just spun the engine round so you can see what's going on. That's the points end, which wants to go in that way, and you can see there's sort of cutouts in this housing, this end, and also in the cam. Looks like that's come out of alignment, that thing. Where are we? Yeah, it's come out of alignment. Might have to sort that out in a minute. Right, so this will only go in one way. And as usual, the camera's right in the way. Right, so through there. Once I get this through, I can then take the piece of wire off. Because that'll be supported by this now, so I can get this bit of wire out of the way. I've got holding this up, you can see that. I'll turn it around again, because I need to do the bolts from the other side. Right, so I've got that in. Now need to, there's two bolts to do, one here and one down the bottom, the other side of this sprocket. And the bolts are different. This is there's an L there, you probably can't see it, but there is, embossed there, which is, I've marked it, this screw. It's a fully threaded screw, bolt, and the one that goes on the other side has a shoulder on it. So I'll now get those in. I won't video that because you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing anyway, because my fat hands are going to be in the way. But yeah, so this is in the correct position. You can see there's a flat line on there, and we're at LT on there, or near enough. Yeah, so I'll get those in, done up. Not sure whether to put a bit of Loctite on them or just torque them up. Probably just torque them if I can, get a torque wrench on there, because they are quite hard to get into. Yeah. Yes, and the other thing is, I forgot to mention, make sure this is the right way up. There's a little pin there which should be upright, and also on the top of the camshaft there is an L stamped in, which all lines up with the L on here, and obviously the LT on the rotor. Right, so that's that sprocket on, bolted on, torqued up, 9 Newton meters. I did find it necessary to actually temporarily fit these, fit the end caps which support the camshaft, because when I was going to tighten these up with the spanner, these bolts, it was then slipping around on the lower sprocket, so it kept going out of timing. So hopefully that won't move now. What's the next thing? Can't remember, have to look in the book. Alright, so next it's the rocker arms and the spindles. Let's go in here. Again, probably a little bit difficult to show on camera. I've not really got any, a tripod don't really go up this high, unfortunately. Yeah, so basically these go through, and at the same time these go on in there, inside here. So I'll put one in and then show you. Okay, so that's those fitted there, spindles, I think what I'm going to do is put this end on so the gaskets go on here, just to support that, make sure this doesn't drop and go out of timing again, and then I'll spin the engine round and do the rockers on the other side. Yeah, and also there's a couple of shims for the camshaft, obviously one each side, got left and a right, so mustn't forget to put that on first. And again, I also have oiled up the rockers and the shafts and everything, so just to make sure. That in there. Right, so we have a gasket. Looks like that goes that way. And also there are O-rings on the ends of these shafts. And these, we need to have some slack in these. Because we won't get this on otherwise. Right, that's the right side, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, mustn't forget, I have actually got a new oil seal to go in there. I better just do that. Right, back on there. Tight. That one's tight. Sometimes it can just be the cameras in the way. Right, let's spin it round. heat this engine a bit, I think, get this in. Okay, put these the right way round. These have little lines on them. They should be pointing outwards. The little line that's just in there, which you probably can't see. Right, we've got another shim. Go in there. Another gasket. Battery's getting a bit low. Hopefully we'll get a finish. This is where things get tricky because we need slack everywhere. Let's try that there. Right, obviously there's bolts to go in there. Gasket lined up, which we'll do later. Right, spin around, check we're still timed up, nothing's moved out. Right, so I think what I'm going to do now, time's getting on, finish the rest of this tomorrow. I'm just going to fit the gasket for the baffle plate at the top and torque these down, which there is a torque sequence, which is basically crossing like that. It's in the manual. Yeah, so I can get this torque down, and yeah, I'll carry on with this tomorrow. Yeah, so there's really not much to well, not much you can see because it's all up here. And not the same, my tripod didn't go that high. Where are we? Backside, and that's the rear end. Gasket will only go on one way. There's a little hole, drain hole there. Just lines up with that. Lines up with that. So it's basically I'm not going to bother putting any gasket cement on this just yet. That'll be okay. I don't think there was any on when I took it off, so should be fine. Same with these. They're quite a wide gasket, so there shouldn't be any problem there. I might even replace these screws at some point. I have put these crosshead ones in, but they're not terribly good, so I might just replace them with Allen keys, Allen screws. So yeah, I'm not too worried about tightening them down. So yeah, I'll just get this torque down. Torque setting for the head. Got that somewhere in the workshop manual. Yeah, it's in there somewhere. I'll put it in the video when I do it. Put it up on screen, and probably the sequence as well. So that's all clear. Yeah, so I'll turn this off and I can carry on, get that torqued down.